down here. He's in traffic. Look at this. There's 3 abreast there. He's making some moves. But he's got to be worried about Jimmy Vassar. He's right behind him. Look at this. He's going to make a move on him right here. He's going to go. Oh, and look at that. Whoa, look at this. Greg Moore making an attempt there on the restart. Look at this race.
Brazilian drivers.
Look at Ray Hall. Look at that. Outside, inside. His car is working very well there.
We've got more than one car in trouble.
Look at this. They blocked the track. Somebody stopped their push.
And look, it gets a help because Ray Hall
pushed him. But that's for position. He was passing Eddie Lawson there. Look at this.
Yeah, but look at this. It's Fangio on the outside.
Doesn't seem to be any problems. Look at this, though. Jimmy Vassar in that red car trying to get around Paul Tracy.
Here it is again.
Look at this. He'll come over. Boom. He turns Jimmy's tire in there, but that's just the steering. Both wheels turn. He's going to get those points, but look at that. Look, and there's Parker. He's trying to make up some ground.
In there.
And, of course, locks it up. Look at that. We didn't see the pass, but, boy, he moved right out in front of him. And those two guys were, look at that. Look at that.
Salazar literally goes under it.
Look him duck. Did you see him duck?
Unbelievable.
Look at this racing. I mean, it's just, look at these cars. Look how many are out there bunched together, racing for spots. It's slippery and marbles. But look at these 3 abreast in there. Unbelievable. Don't forget, from Jimmy's point of view, look at this. Ribeiro going right under Jimmy Vassar. Adrenaline's going. Look at this. Great car control. He went over to block him because he didn't want to get past because of traffic. Fernandez, look at this. Oh, he's pushing him through there. Mechanics are watching on the screen. Look at this.
Yeah.
They're coming in. They couldn't be any closer. You'd love to have that yellow. The longer you can go. Look at that. He just flew away from the field, but look at this.
Ribeiro down low, works on Scott Pruitt.
Right there, look at that tire go up in the air right here, that tire. But see that battle in there if you like. Look at this. Bobby Rahal taking a look to get around Adrian Fernandez.
But he's in good position now. He might be able to get him coming off of here.
But look at that, right behind him is his boss. See his hands turn there. He had a little back end coming out, had to correct it. But look at this. Brian Hurd is looking for a way around him. Look at this. I tell you, Zanardi came over. Oh, he just missed him. Just missed Ribeiro. Look at that. Look at this. Upside. Oh, my gosh, that's Davy Jones upside down.
We are green once again.
And look at that on the inside. Al Jr. Look at this on board. Christian's taking a look to get inside of his teammate. Oh, they go in there. They're not going to give up. Side by side. What happened? Look at this. Now he comes down. That's Mark Blundell on the inside. And that can't be a very comfortable feeling with those guys going by. Look at this. Michael Andretti is right behind Christian Fittipaldi.
Christian 15.3. They leave essentially together.
Look at that.
There is Vassar. What a moment.
Oh, I'm telling you, that was close. And look at that. One of those Gale forklifts. They have a special design so that they can pick those cars up. Oh, and he's getting out of the car. He is frustrated.
From second place, Christian Fittipaldi walks away.
Look at that. He just walks away.
There is Paul Newman.
Look at that. Do you see that? He just, those expressions. He's got to be frustrated, though. He's got a good second, third. Look at this.
Crossing the racetrack.
See that little gap? That probably was dictated by traffic, but look at this. Gilles DeFerrin in that bright yellow car coming up on Paul Tracy. Ooh, locking him up. That hurts him big time. But look at this. And look at that. Look who's right there at the back of that group. Right now in that red and white car is Allenser Jr.
Yeah, Jourdain ran off. You got just a very quick glimpse of him there.
But look at this. This is the battle for first, second, and third. And look who's right there. That's Jimmy Vassar in fourth. I mean, they're just a little bit slower, but it accumulates. Oh, and look at that. Scott Pruitt. I can smell it burning up here in the booth. Look at that, a duel, man. He's got some horsepower. And Allenser Jr. is going to pull in there.
Dennis Swan taking over as the chief steward of the series at the end of the year.
Look at this. It looks like Brian Herta is slowing some. I believe so. And, of course, look at this. Jimmy Vassar is right behind Brian Herta there. Oh, he was right up underneath him. Did you see how close he was there? Oh, they're making a couple of moves in there. You saw him kind of, look at that. Look at Scott. He cut right back in front of Varsha.
As they come around Blundell, Varsha moves into 6th place.
And look at this,
and
look at this.
Jr. is now challenging him.
Looks like maybe Varsha had a problem there, and I think that's why he's dropping back. Look at that gap. You can see it there to the cars in front. But look at that right there, Paul, in 2nd, 3rd, and 4th. 131, 130, 130.
Another one.
Oh, look at that. Look at the
fight
lead.
For the lead, though, as Brian Herta has just grabbed the lead.
Yeah, but Roberto Moreno didn't cause any of that. That was just up the straightaway. And look at this. Brian Herta is pulling away from him. See that tire? Look at that left front. You can see it right there. See how it's all grained right there? And look at this. I mean, that for the 9 laps to go, look how close these guys are. Look at this, though. Now, these guys have a lot at stake. Right out there is Brian Herta.
So the battle for the PPG Cup. Look,
look at that.
Here he comes, and he gets him. Can he get him back? Can he hang on?
Oh, look at this.
Down through the boards on the final lap.
Look at this. John Paul Jr. going right under Buddy Lazier.
Enough in this
look
segment.
At this.
Lyondike back to the lead, Jack.
Sorry, Jack, but they're swapping spots left and right. Look at this. Look at this, Hearn.
Coming up behind Arie Lyondike, trying to get him again.
Look at this, Tony Stewart diving down low. Tried to go low under John Paul. Looks to me, Bobby, that Richie Hearn's car looks like it's running a little bit better, handling a little bit better than Robbie Gordon. Look at this. Whoa, that was a close move right there.
They both get up in the dust.
That shows you how dirty this track is if you get a little off the line. Look at this, he's down low. He kicked up some dust down low. And look at that, Vassar's gonna get him too. No, Gugelmin cuts him off. Look at that, he got passed by the MCI car and then he cut back in to get back down underneath him and never saw Gilles de Ferran. That's the MCI car, Pep is pulling out. It goes in underneath and look at this. And Vitola just comes across. Now, my opinion is, boy, that hurts. Taking a look down there on Big Mo. He wanted to go in there. Look at this. That's right next to Brian Herta.
Is the Ganassi team going to be a factor in 1997? No question about it.
Look at this.
Vassar in 3rd.
Boy, they're bunched up over there in turn 3. Look at that, Al. That was Paul Tracy, I think, almost touched the car in front. What we're talking about, look at this field. They're all bunched up like that. Well, it just goes to show you, wherever you qualify, that's the pack you're probably going to run with. Look at this. Oh, he's trying the outside. Is that man Alex Zanardi? Because I believe. Oh, look at this. De Ferran has gone off
from 4th place.
And he stalled it. He just stalled it. You saw it jerk forward. He just stalled the car.
Just connect the names.
Look at this. Parker has really came out of there quick. And look at that lead that he's pulling out right there. He is definitely hooked up.
In the MCI car for Arciero Wells, it appears it is.
And look at this. Look at his tires, even on the right side. Look at the right side right there. There's all the marbles. Look at that. Michael Andretti did everything he had to, and Paul Tracy did what he had to. And look at that gap. He's not all the way up. Little touch. That's all it takes. Brian Herta, spun off. And look at that. Michael Andretti just missed.
Has led only 5 laps. He's already topped that. Paul Jasper back in, Danny. They've got a problem.
They've got a problem, but also look at this.
You can see how wide the entrance to that corner is. A very late apex corner.
Look at that race and how close they are bunched together.
Then Michel Jourdain.
And look at this bunch. Look at this bunch. Alex Jr., who's already stopped a lap ahead of him, got some heat in his tires. Look at that. He is closing on the leader, who's in that bright yellow and orange colored car. Look at this. He's closing on it. He's going to go. That's right off of 4. Well, Al really expanded the groove right there. He helped a lot of people. He knows he can work up there. Look at this.
They are still wheel to wheel.
Well, look at this. Al Jr. is going to come right back.
This is for 7th place.
Whoa, he's way up there. Look at that. Whoa, Carpentier was way up in the gray.
Oh, the series champion will not let him in. That was close.
And look at that. He got up there high, so Greg Moore gets a run off of that back straight. Look at that. Paul keeps. Those guys are really dicing. And look at Jimmy.
Vassar goes underneath Andretti for the race lead.
Look at this. He's going down there. I'd say Michael's got a problem. And he's got traffic right in front of Patrick. Look at this right there. Paul's going to have a run on him. He doesn't have a fuel problem.
234 laps in the book. 2 laps to go, and Tracy goes into the lead. Now Gugelmin looks down the inside of Tracy, hoping to use P.J. Jones if he can, but he can't.
Well, look at that. P.J. Jones just pulled away from him in the corner. Well, but look at that. Look at that left front right there. That is damaged. He's slid into there. He's obviously damaged it. Well, Hero's certainly not holding on. He was not holding on. And he tried too hard. Got in there too hot under braking. Almost lost it. Look at this. Oh. Now, obviously, when they were pulling him back, he probably got caught with the tire and it pulled him down underneath the car. Those guys are tough. Look at that. This is going to be an exciting finish. And look at that, just going out of our picture was Dario Franchitti. Still had that bodywork dangling off his left front nose.
Coming around to complete lap 65.
Look at that. That's all for place. Every one of those cars is dicing for a spot. Look at this. Those two guys, I'm not so sure they didn't touch there. Well, this is the third restart, and Zanari's always trying to jump him. Brian Herta there, he's with those slicks. Look at that. We'll go to yellow at that position, I would think. Yeah, do the math.
In our glory.
Look at that. He's trying to put the power down. Whoa, he came out there high. He's got to be very careful, but look, he's...
PJ straight lining the chicane. Oh, Paul Tracy goes around. Heads up.
Look out. Through those are just cardboard. Oh, that one's not cardboard that he's going to. Look at that. He's trying to get it back on the track. Keep it running. See him lighten up the tires. See him spinning. Adios. Now, these are just made of cardboard or something that they can run through. Hey, look at that. Now look at this. You can still get in there at sort of 3 abreast.
Brian Herta put 2 wheels off on the right side. Look at all the space and momentum that he lost.
Mark really needed to get by there. I'm sorry, Bobby. He really needed to get back there. That's going to give Zanardi a chance to close up. Mark, look at this. 2 corners. He's lost a lot of ground right there. He tried. He got off there a little wide. He's out in the grass just sliding. Whoa, and look at that. Cleared the first barrier.
Oh, my. There is Arne Meyer, the young German. Shades of what happened a few years ago when Paul Tracy in qualifying nearly got into a spectator area.
Well, he's fast there, and look at that barrier, just lays back. Luckily, he goes right over it and no damage to anybody else. That was a very lucky incident. Sent him sideways. And look at that. Look at that. Christian Fittipaldi just hit Brian Herta. And right there on top was, it looked like Mark Blundell got a little bit up in the air as well. Alex Zanardi going out there very wide. Look at that. All the way underneath. That looks like it's Adrian Fernandez.
Adrian Fernandez. Let's look from Alex Zanardi's onboard camera. An amazing collision.
All right, and look at this. Alex Zanardi gone in deep again. Maybe he is having braking problems. Look at that.
Ooh, Mark Blundell in the blue and white car, and Alex Zanardi.
He does. He goes down the inside. Does he have enough? Smoke off the tire. Alonso Jr. back up. Look at this. Wheel to wheel. Oh, he tapped him. He got him a little sideways there. Made a move down the inside. Look at this. Franchitti's trying to make a move. Now you climb up a very steep hill. Look at this. You're looking at the sky. You go into your braking area, can't see anything. Come down short acceleration, hard on the brakes. Look at that traffic in there. Slowest corner on the track.
72 laps lead. Here comes Romero down the inside in the hairpin.
Oh, they touched. Look at this. They were just so close to each other. They actually touched and spun him around. Alex spun off his own teammate. Arne Meyer spins down there to the left. And now he just comes back up, which is natural. There's nothing he can do about it. And look at that, almost head on. Turns Ari sharp right. And white car of Big Mo, look at this. All in traffic. Mo going high and Michael going down low. And Greg Moore wanted to go back, couldn't do it, but look at him now. Right up. He just smoked him. Look at this. He's just pulling away.
Right now he's under attack. Adrian Fernandez, his former.
And look at that move. I'm sorry, Bob. Did you see Gilles de Ferran knife right through the two of them? Look at that, Robbie. I think Michael's moving back in on him. I mean, he looks like he's just closing up a little bit. What we might be seeing here is Andretti. Look at this. He's just flying off that corner. He's going to take a look. I don't think Zanardi's going to let him have it. Oh, and he goes down. What a move. Now see what's happened with Art Meyer. He held up Zanardi, and look at this. Greg Moore making a dive down the inside. That was all because Alex Zanardi had to lift off a little bit and go around the outside of turn 4.
To indicate that there's any fluids out on the track, and I'm sure they look at that very closely. Oh, look at this. He's got a long ways to go. He's at the left of your screen. He's got to go all the way down here. Keep going right down there to the right. Oh, that's a couple hundred yards at least. Mendez took advantage of it. I thought Walter did a very good job there. He didn't panic. Michael moved in. Walter's all over. Look at that.
He is back on the attack. Here's another look.
Oh, look at this. Whoa. Big air. Now look at this. Something that we've, right there, Brian Herta has gotten around Dario Franchitti. There he is.
Recall the battles he had with Brian Herta last year, including a collision while Herta was leading on the streets of Vancouver.
He's looking down the inside of Franchitti.
Christian
Look
Fittipaldi.
at this, the same move, right around the outside of Patrick Carpentier. But look at that, Gilles de Ferran is stuck there behind Al Unser Jr. and Max Pappas in the MCI car. Look at this, Brian Herta has really dropped back from Jimmy Vasser. He didn't just get past, he's dropped back tremendously.
There's Jourdain in the green car at the bottom of your picture. Paul Tracy heads for a green flag pit stop from 4th place.
Look at this.
Oh, Moore takes second.
Dove underneath him. See if they get that little bit outside, they can't pick up the throttle as quick as they want to. Look at this, down the front straightaway. Christian Fittipaldi in the black car on the right of your screen with the yellow helmet.
He has made it old home week here in Brazil. He went to his family home in Sao Paulo.
Seemed like he closed up a little bit under braking. He wants to keep that pressure on. Look at this. Look at Greg sliding that car off of there. Great car control, and boy, he was going to have a go. Alex had to lift coming off. Greg Moore's alongside. Go down the inside.
Oh, no, what do you do if you're Art Meyer in that yellow Lola? He's got the race leader sandwiching him.
Oh!
And Moore around the outside into 1. Oh, he makes it. Oh, Zanardi's up high. Can he hold it?
No, he cut out on the gray. He couldn't do anything. Greg Moore did an incredible move. And the championship makes another change. Look at this. What a move by Greg Moore right down the outside. Zanardi tries to go in there. Greg says, Two really professional moves there. Christian, so far what you've seen, of course, that look like Mike. Look at this restart. What do you think there? Look at this.
Ribeiro and Tracy.
Wheel racing.
Ribeiro and Tracy. And behind them, J.J. Leto has gotten around Al Unser Jr.
Well, look at this right there. Right in front of Castro Neves is Ribeiro, who's not really in the hunt right there, but right behind him is Al Unser Jr. He needs some help from his teammate, who's pulled down to the inside. And, of course, what's happening with these two guys racing right there? Look at that. Wheel to wheel. Let's look at this here, too. Jimmy Vasser there. Christian Fittipaldi there. This spot right there is Paul Tracy right behind. Got cars off in here, off in the sand trap. Look at that.
Left front suspension is broken.
Well, look at this right there. That tire, both pointing in. That's not the angle that it's supposed to do. Look at this. There's no team orders here. Now can Jimmy dive up the inside? Now accelerate him to the next corner.
And look at the struggle.
Slice. You had Vasser tending with Tracy. Franchitti came up and knifed by both of them.
And look at this. Jimmy's obviously having trouble changing gears. And that bright blue and red car that you see at the back
Oh, and look at that move, Al Jr. Tried to go around the outside there because there's more grip on the outside of that concrete. Look at this. You saw DeFerrin lock up that left front tire, and Michael made the move he needed to make. And look at this, Tony Kanaan trying to go down the outside of Scott Pruitt, get on that good concrete, do the maneuver. Oh, and Scott wasn't having any of that, just pinched him right there at the wall. Tony Kanaan had to back off. Look at this, DeFerrin is stopped in the pit, very frustrated, waving. Have no idea what happened there. And Jack, one of the things I'm hearing there is Dario Franchitti is getting great fuel mileage if he's running that late. Look at
Side by side, Michael Andretti and Alex Zanardi. Oh.
Look at this race. Michael Andretti is sandwiched in there between Jimmy Vasser and Alex Zanardi.
There you see Rahal going by, but
look
the flying
at this.
cars. Michael Andretti gets under Jimmy Vasser.
Remember, Vasser's just made a pit stop. His tires are not up to temperature like they are on Zanardi and Michael Andretti. He just dropped a spot. And look at Jimmy Vasser in the red car. Comes right here. Where does he go? Look at this. He slides in. Does he get around? Oh, he drove over him. He drove over him, and Alex Zanardi passes Jimmy Vasser down the inside. Oh, and look at this right here. We have a car, that's Robbie Gordon, between Michael Andretti and the two target cars. This is a big advantage for Michael. Jack, to add to your thing, too, I also don't think they want to bother the driver. Look at that. Down on the apron goes Richie Hearn.
So that he can head for the pits and have a look over.
And look at this, Gilles DeFerrin. He's going by both the leaders. Right there, he and Greg Moore wheel to wheel through 1 and 2.
Seemed like less than 1.2 seconds.
Look at this racing, though. That whole bunch, those are all for positions in there. Every one of those guys in your screen right now is for a position. But Alex Zanardi then pulled right back by him just after the start-finish line. Look at this, first to fifth in a matter of going from over the start-finish line to first. He's slowing. Look at this, and everybody's ready. They know what's coming.
17 cars.
Trophy dash. Everybody, look at that. Jimmy's trying to go. Zanardi's right there. Oh, look at him. Sideways. Oh, he jumped on the throttle. Jimmy got a little bit of a break there. And here comes Jimmy. He's coming back around the outside.
Pruitt down low for third. Oh, Zanardi has still got his foot in it.
And look at this. This looks like the first lap of the race. And I can tell you, Scott Pruitt was right. You don't want to lead the last lap. Greg Moore passed him. And look at that. By Brian Herta, and they touch. Brian Herta, Dario Franchitti. And it looks like
Jimmy Vasser back to the
top three. Look at that. But Brian Herta just squeezes him there, hooks the wheel. Look at that. He goes over. Jimmy Vasser, innocent bystander. Boom. Big hit out into the wall. Look at that. That thing just took it right out of Myron's hand right there. The mechanic for Penske, the rear tire, and hit the wing. Look at that. Tires, wheels everywhere. Slips inside. He taps PJ, trying to pass him. Look at that. And he lands upside down on the track, rolling again, tumbling. Look at that. What a ride through that. Oh. And all those long yellow laps should give everybody enough fuel. Look at that. Maurizio Gugelmin just sliding in front of Paul Tracy's nose there. And look at this. Paul Tracy wants to get by Maurizio Gugelmin in that bright red car. Look at that. Scott Pruitt is right behind Adrian Fernandez.
I think he was paying attention to going in deep to keep Greg Moore behind him, and just got it. You can tell he was in trouble early.
Oh, look at this.
Oh, my goodness.
Alex Barron.
Now he sees Alex Barron coming.
And look at this official right there. Was he lucky that he looked up at the same time? Here he was taking a look around the outside to outbrake him. Look at this. You're working. Look at this. A right-hander, quick left-hander. Slide it right out up against the wall. Greg Moore trying to go through, runs right over the back of that car. Look at this. How he didn't go over, I do not know. Onto the old circuit now. Look at this shot. Going up here, I can't see anything where I'm going. Over the little brow. He's got it going again. Those tires will be junk for about a lap or so, and he's at the back of the field. Slow car in front of him. Look at that. That was a damaged wheel. Looked like it was J.J. Lato, who's been quick all weekend long. Coming up to the top through the corkscrew. Look at this. You got no idea where you're going. Drop over that.
Let's take a lap around Laguna Seca with Bobby Rahal as he makes his final laps here as a racing driver.
Look at this shot. He's climbing up the hill to the famous corkscrew. Blind braking over there, flattens out. Look at this turn. Nothing, you can't see anything. Squeeze out there, cambered corner, and look at this view. You can't tell where you're going. Richie really enjoys this track, as do all the drivers. Look at him slide that car out of turn 3. He is throwing it around. Now, you don't want to see that happen. Look at that. Over the curb, throw up a little dust. Look at that right there on the screen. Sorry, Zanardi was taking a look at Jimmy Vassar.
Everything looking routine. Now the fueling complete. Just under 14 seconds.
And look at this. He's going out, but there's one of the players' cars right in front of him. I think that's Carpentier. Well, what we're seeing out here on the track is team strategy. Look at this. Rahal moves to the inside. Is he going to block Zanardi? No. I think he wanted to, but he let Brian Herta go by. Line, that darker, duller tone that's on the street surface means that these cars, look at that, how they clean it up. They're like a big vacuum cleaner. But look back here, and look how hard, look at that gray back there. Can you imagine what it's like trying to see what the guy in front of you is doing?
And he followed it up immediately with his second win on the streets of Vancouver, British Columbia.
Oh, and look at this. Dennis Vitolo in a bad spot there.
Our television cameras make it look a good bit lighter than it actually is.
And look at this, Paul Tracy, and they touch. Dario Franchitti and Paul Tracy touch. His left rear of Dario Franchitti hit Paul Tracy's front, and look, he's done. His left front is toast. He must have bumped the wall. Look at that. And he's going to let him fend off his own teammate, Paul Tracy. Look at that in one lap, what he has pulled out over Dario Franchitti.
Max Pappas also might have missed a shift there with Tony Kanaan.
Oh, wow. Tony, look at this. Tony might lose a spot. Squeeze around, and he has to lock up because Tony says, hey, Paul is obviously having some kind of problems here. And as you said, Tommy, I think it has to do with brakes. Look at that, Jimmy Vassar. And they've actually moved the wall back.
See, Alex is defending here on the inside, pass for the lead.
Look at the flames come out of the back of that car.
That looks more like John Force.
Yeah,
losing a blower.
Look at that. But look at this. Here comes Mark Blundell right by Greg Moore going into 3. Scott Pruitt's around.
Nose to tail across the start-finish line, and they fan out immediately in a bid for position. Michael Andretti down low. Paul Tracy up high. Look at that run to second. Surfers Paradise, Australia, where Michael Andretti and Paul Tracy had their coming together.
But look at this. Greg Moore's coming back. He's moved back up to 3rd. Jimmy Vassar was trying to go with him. And look at this. Michael's coming down on the inside. Greg just says, no way. I'm going to stay up high. If you want to go down low, you can have it. Effective. Look at that. They dive out all the way down over the white line down the back straightaway.
Or when the yellow settles in, but as soon as they go green, we've been watching them, the whole lower tier of the grandstand in mass.
The Canadians are battling Tracy and Moore.
Look at this. Greg Moore is closing in on Paul Tracy. Paul Tracy wanted to trim the car out for more straight line speed.